Where is this so noisy and raucous? This is a live streaming street in Zhengzhou. Millions of young people in China face a record unemployment rate of more than 21%. They are trying to build success by selling merchandise or services live on platforms such as Alibaba's Tmall and Taobao and ByteDance's Douyin. However, the official claim of 21% youth unemployment is probably still too low compared to reality. Good Lord, is this the street of live streaming? What the hell is wrong with society nowadays? They all want to be web celebrities. In the past, beggars used to beg for food with pots. I can see that with technology advancing now, beggars are all organized in groups. A survey of more than 10,000 young people on the social media platform Sina Weibo in July 2023 found that more than 60% said they were interested in becoming web celebrities or live streamers. According to iResearch, the live streaming industry employed 1.23 million anchors as of 2020, and a boom in live streaming sales during the pandemic helped the industry generate a 480 billion business in China last year. To facilitate the growing professionalization and competition in the live streaming industry, agencies have sprung up to train young presenters and match the proper presenters with brands. This has also led to the entry of many live streamers.
Look, the whole street is full of live streamers. See, this is the production base for live streamers in Changnam, Wenzhou. I didn't expect it to have so many of them. The street is packed. There's one every few steps. No one goes to work anymore. The physical stores should close down now. How many young people have been harmed by the internet, making them lose their way? They all want to get something for nothing. You notice there's almost nobody on the street now. Maybe they have gone on to become web sensations. Even the beggars on the street aren't there anymore. Perhaps they have gone online too and become online beggars or web sensations. This is the so-called street of live streamers. How does it make you feel? I find it creepy.
Massive physical stores closed down and a large number of young people entered the live broadcasting industry. On August 15, 2023, the National Bureau of Statistics announced that the youth unemployment rate and other age groups would be suspended. The main reason is said to be that the economy and society are constantly developing and changing. Statistical work needs to be continuously improved, and labor force survey statistics also need to be further improved and optimized. Some veteran journalists pointed out that the reason given by the Chinese government was groundless, estimating that 80% of fresh college graduates were currently facing unemployment. Many people have speculated that the data, which reflects China's economic situation, looks so bad that the government has stopped publishing it. Meanwhile, due to the low threshold of the live streaming industry, that is, one can start live streaming by picking up a cell phone, many young people dream about becoming a web celebrity. This profession has been made into an industry with scale, hence a street of live streamers.
In Guilin, there's a bridge that's littered with live streamers at night, from 7 p.m. to midnight every night, whether it's on the green space on top of the bridge, under the bridge, or the walkway underneath the bridge, as well as the sidewalk on the bridge. There are all kinds of live streamers everywhere. They use the same type of light equipment and camera stands. In some cases, there are even red carpets specially laid out for them. It's becoming an established industry with scale. By research, the bridge is found to be the Nangzhou Bridge in Guilin City.
A big reason why young people are attracted to the live streaming industry is that they usually only see success stories first. For example, just months after beginning her full-time career as a live stream sales host, Zhang Jinyu, a former model and blogger with a master's degree in fashion management, has already clocked hundreds of hours of broadcasting time and worked with luxury brands like YSL Beauty. A day in the life of a live streaming host like Zhang can include more than 6 hours of talking almost non-stop, not including time spent on hair, makeup, and additional hours for post-broadcast debriefs with her crew.
404是我们一个低饱和度裸色系，那我们420米之我们会额外给到你的高定随行到我们 YSL logo 的化妆镜、化妆包。我们可以看一下主图的详情页里面的哈。420米之我们会有刚补的货，不湿不黑啊，一到此刚已经收起梦以后。喜欢表现，喜欢镜头，然后喜欢表达，然后希望每天都能够穿在镜头之下。所以我之前也是模特，也是博主，所以我就后来觉得可能主播这个工作能够更加的直观，而且通过每一场的数据，你能够反映自己的一个能力和反馈，然后会有很多直播间的评论和互动，然后综合下来这些因素都是我喜欢的，所以就选择了这个职业。
我这边给大家过掉了啊，喜欢淡淡的云，你的眼睛
我觉得我会关注，但是这并不决定我是否购买。因为我觉得现在商品的这个价格，各个渠道其实差不多都打通的，我没有那个时间去比较各个渠道便宜100或者是少100块钱啊。但是反而有一些非常有意思的直播，素人带的，或者是他本身我还看过一些舞蹈的带货直播，我也觉得非常有意思。那反而那些新的东西也会让我去那个下单购买，我也觉得很好。
But the reality is cruel. Since the outbreak in 2020, China's economy has taken a sharp turn for the worse. Youth unemployment has soared, and 1.23 million people have flocked to the live streaming industry in the past 3 years. One report shows that China's online performance market size, including the live streaming and short video industry, reached over 199 billion yuan in 2022. The industry had an explosive growth. The report mentions that the live streaming industry has gradually shown a trend of high education, young age, and professionalism. The short video creators have polarized towards the young group and the middle-aged and senior groups. Most importantly, public data shows that 90% of anchors don't make money. This has indirectly testified to the fact that the live streaming industry is extremely competitive and has a large number of unemployed young people. It's in line with the speculation that the unemployment rate is much higher than the officially published data. The Chinese government announced on August 15th that it will stop releasing urban youth unemployment data. The move immediately raised heated debates. Stories with the hashtag Young People's Urban Survey unemployment rate will be suspended on Sina Weibo accumulated 210 million reads in one day and hit number 5 on the Hot 100 list at one point. But the topic disappeared before the publication of this video. One of the reasons why the youth unemployment rate is no longer published has been explained this way. The size of the school populations among young people in China's cities and towns has been expanding in recent years. In 2022, there were more than 96 million young people between the ages of 16 and 24 in China's cities and towns, of whom more than 65 million were in school. The main task of school students is to study. Whether students looking for jobs before graduation should be included in the labor force survey statistics, there are different views in society, which need to be further researched. However, some people question that previously school students and those who take examinations for graduate schools and civil servants weren't included in the relevant statistics anyway. The matter isn't a question of whether school students have jobs, but rather it's difficult for them to find jobs.
每当夜幕降临
Whenever night falls, this female English tutor is out fighting life. She is looking for work. She is a college student from the nearby Normal University. Teaching English on the street is her main source of income. The tutoring fee she makes in an hour pays her living expenses for a week. She lowers her head in embarrassment whenever there are young people passing by. Hello everyone, I continue to share my hutong life with you today. Hutong refers to narrow streets or alleys commonly seen in China. In addition to the English tutor, a math teacher would occasionally work part-time here. She goes to the same school as the English teacher. Both are courageously embracing life. They stand for a few hours. Sometimes they might be here all night without a single client. The busy street is full of people coming and going, but it doesn't hide their loneliness. If there is no business for an hour straight, she will move to a different place, and when she is tired, she will crouch down to rest. Every profession deserves respect. Today was no luck for the math teacher. A night's worth of sweat went down the drain. In the end, her classmates picked her up on an electric scooter and returned to school. In comparison, that English teacher got lucky. She was hired for an hour of tutoring. Her living expenses for next week are taken care of. Here is the hutong where I lived for many years. Every day after work, I would come here to take a stroll. Even though I am exhausted from my work during the day, it doesn't stop me from taking a stroll in the evening. As time passes, I've gotten to know almost all tutors working part-time in the hutongs. China's official youth unemployment rate was 20.4% in April, 20.8% in May, and 21.3% in June, exceeding 20% for 3 consecutive months. The National Bureau of Statistics said last month, the month of July, that the youth unemployment rate had peaked and would come down in August 2023. Unexpectedly, the authorities suddenly stopped releasing the data. But even if the data is no longer released, there is no way to hide that China's labor market is not friendly to young people.
底薪2300，那是劳动法的底线。
The monthly base salary of 2,300 yuan or $315 is the bottom line of the labor law, but it's not the bottom line of a sweatshop. I am telling you a real story of a Henan worker. It happened in Henan. With a college education, he went to work in a general factory run by a so-called national entrepreneur. His job was to work on an assembly line. The advertisement said the salary was 6,000 to 8,000 yuan with food and lodging included. The working hours were 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, in full compliance with the labor law. So this brother foolishly worked the hours according to the advertisement. He worked 8 hours a day with 2 days off on the weekends. He was surprised by the worker on the top bunk why he must work overtime every day and not rest on the weekend. When the salary was paid, he got a pre-tax salary of only 2,360 yuan, or US $324, the minimum wage. When he inquired about it, he was told that he could only get the minimum wage if he didn't work overtime. Then 200 was deducted from the personal social security fund, and 210 was deducted from the provident fund. Although food and lodging were included, one still must pay for it. So lodging, 200 yuan, and 300 yuan for meals was charged. This brother wanted to quit. Since he didn't work overtime, he was charged 200 yuan for floor wear and tear, another 200 for cutlery wear and tear, and 20 yuan daily for labor supplies. Last month, a total of 420 yuan was deducted for 21 days of work. So, how much did he actually get in his hand for the month? 538 yuan, or US $73. I guess he could afford a carton of cigarettes and not starve to death. What's the point of working in such a place, even if one has a job? What is interesting in the official announcement is that the definition of the age range of young people also needs to be further researched. What does this mean? Perhaps they think that by expanding the age range they can make the data look better. So, what do people under 30 think about China's job market?
在日本当了6年护士。
After working as a nurse in Japan for 6 years, I have made a total of 1.5 million RMB, or over 200,000 US dollars. To tell you the truth, my salary is 5 million Japanese yen, or 35,000 US dollars a year. In 6 years, I made a total of 200,000 US dollars. Back then, I thought I would work for 3 years and go home as soon as I could afford a house. 6 years have passed, and I have saved enough money to buy a house in cash. But why haven't I gone back to my home country? It's because my education is inferior. I only have a college degree, and I'm about to turn 30 years old. At my age and with my education, it's hard to find a decent job in China. Moreover, we all know that Japanese people are focused and disciplined. You only need to finish your work, and you just have to do your job, and when the leader instructs you, just say yes and work, and that's it. But if I were to go back to China, I probably wouldn't understand a single word that the leader said to me. You would have different layers of meanings, but I wouldn't understand any of them. So if I were to go back to China, I wouldn't have the emotional intelligence or sufficient education, and I wouldn't know how to survive in the workplace. I'm getting old, and it's very, very difficult to find a job. And I have struggled for 6 years, but I have finally decided not to go back home. Of course, people have asked me if I plan to stay in Japan my whole life. I can only say that if I were given another chance to choose again, I would still choose to work abroad and when I was young. People don't just live for themselves. I hope that I can lend a helping hand to my friends when they're in trouble, and I can say, use the best medicine when my parents get old and become sick one day. I don't regret the choices I made 6 years ago. 6 years of youth in exchange for over 200,000 US dollars. Do you think it's worth it?
While the Chinese government has decided to stop publishing the youth unemployment rate for the time being, a Chinese magazine, Sanlian Life Week, published a feature story titled, "Youth Hostels in Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen are full of young people who can't find a job." It sparked public concern. According to the article, many young people have left their homes to seek employment in Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen during the toughest employment season. Youth hostels have become the best choice for them to settle down in big cities because of their low cost and stay-and-go model. 2 of the young people were interviewed. One graduated from a 211 university and the other from a national key university. However, both have been unemployed for more than 1 month to 3 months, with no direction or future in their lives. After the article drew much attention, the hashtag Youth Hostels in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou are crowded with people who can't find a job was on the hot search list, but the Weibo platform has blocked it. However, the Sanlian Life Weekly has opened their comment section of its Weibo page, and many netizens have left comments saying they have lost their jobs. One of the netizens, presumably mimicking the spokesman for the National Bureau of Statistics, wrote, "You are incorrect. Our heavenly kingdom is flourishing and has advanced into a moderately developed country. With a steady growing GDP, no one is unemployed and no one is in poverty."